This is a story about neon signs. It's the stuff of science fiction, a brilliant red glow captured in glass tubes, powered by electrodes and voltage. But for William Ramsey and Morris Travers, this was no fantasy. It was reality, and in 1898 they had stumbled upon a new element, one that would soon become the cornerstone of a new form of advertising and art. Enter Georges Claude. In 1902, he unveiled his masterpiece at the Paris Motor Show, two 39-foot-long neon tubes, glowing a bright red. It was an overnight sensation, and soon, Claude's associate, Jacques Fonseca, saw the potential for a new business, and so, the age of neon signage began. By 1923, Claude Neon had introduced neon gas signs to the United States, selling two to a Packard car dealership in Los Angeles. The signs, dubbed Liquid Fire, were a hit, visible even in daylight. Soon, neon lighting became a fixture in outdoor advertising, with nearly 24 colors available by the 1960s. Today, it's not just about advertising. Neon signs have become a form of art in their own right, with Ed Scripa of Let There Be Neon at the forefront of the craft. His method for bending and shaping glass tubes may be the same as decades ago, but the beauty of neon remains timeless.
Hello, my name is Ed. I'm what's known as a neon glass bender because we bend glass tubing. I've been doing this over 30 years now. Basically, the way neon is done, we get a pattern from the art department. I lay the pattern on the bench. I kind of plan out how I want to bend, where I want to start, how much glass I'm going to need, what millimeter I need, what color I need. And once I get all that together, then I take the glass and I go into the fires. We basically have three kind of fires. We have a ribbon burner, which is just focus flame to do tight bends. We have an adjustable burner, we call a ribbon burner, do like O's, C's, that sort of thing. And then the third fire we have is a hand torch. That's when the pieces are bent, we use the hand torch to splice everything together. We use the hand torch to splice on electrodes, and then we're ready for the processing. Processing we refer to as bombardment because it's done with a bombarder, which is just a large transformer, and the bombarder is hooked up to a couple of electrodes at each end of the neon unit, and we put the unit under partial vacuum. Once it's under partial vacuum, that allows us to strike an arc. Once the arc is lit, the tube is lit, there's just air in there, and that's the means that we use to heat the tube up. We want to heat it up to about approximately 300, probably about 400 degrees Fahrenheit. It burns out all the impurities, and then we have a vacuum pump we open up and completely suck all the impurities and all the air out. And once the unit cools down, we backfill it with either neon or argon.
From the Roxy Hotel to bars and clothing shops in Tribeca, neon still grabs our attention with its mesmerizing glow. For me, Let There Be Neon is more than just a sign-making shop. It's a holdout of the true spirit of New York City, a place that embodies the city's raw, unfiltered energy. Inside, the walls are covered in oversized clocks and pop culture memorabilia, and the workshop emits an old-school cool vibe. It's a true staple in the city's pop culture history.
Hi everybody, I'm Jeff. We're here at Let There Be Neon. We are a custom design and neon lighting fabrication studio. We're in Lower Manhattan. Let There Be Neon was started in 1972 by Rudy Stern. Rudy was a light artist, a videographer, street photographer, painter, pretty much all-around Renaissance man. He started Let There Be Neon with the thought of saving the neon industry, which at that time in the early 70s was really losing out to new plastic, cheap, inexpensive, cheesy-looking fluorescent and plastic signs. Rudy loved the craft of neon, felt because it was a handmade item that it deserved a lot more credit. And the original intent was to save a lot of these old signs that were in disuse and resell them as art objects. But he had this amazing epiphany very early on, which was that he was going to offer creations to people, even off of the street, restaurants, film designers, of custom work. So for the very first time, somebody could come into a storefront off of the street and order a custom piece for themselves or for a gift for somebody, and it just morphed from there. So we try to retain Rudy's spirit in everything that we do. It's really important to us. Those of us who are still at the company who work with Rudy, and there still are a few. Rudy passed away about 10 years ago or so. But I will say that everything we do, regardless of what it is, we try to do with an artistic bent. Whether it's a piece of contemporary artwork that's going in the Guggenheim, which we've done many pieces for, or galleries throughout the world, whether it's a film that's being shot and the piece of neon might be a tiny speck in the background, or if it's for somebody's home that they're going to live with forever, or whether it's just a pizza or a bagel sign, it all is as important to us as the next piece.
If there's one thing I've learned from the experience, it's that neon has never been a fad. It's an enduring symbol of our fascination with light, color, and beauty. Whether it's a sign for business or art hanging in someone's home, neon will always be a mesmerizing sight. It's just too beautiful to ignore.